Okay, hello everyone. Let me check. My stream's all coming through. Everyone can see what I'm doing. Just checking. I'm trying a new little feature here with regards to chat. So instead of just shooting everything up there, I'll get to see it, and when I talk about a chat, then I'll share it with you all. Like here we go, like steak and eggs. G'day, mate. There we go. Well, we'll see how it goes. We can see and hear you. Thanks. So welcome back. If you didn't join me yesterday, what I like to do is to go through all of the Senate candidates for every state, and just to see, you know, what we've got, what our options are. I have my stein of coffee and no water, but I won't need it. I won't need it. I'll need the coffee for this if it's anything like yesterday. Now, also, if you want to hashtag, hang on, Heiser says live, you'll see your Twitter comment appear on the screen. There you go. You know, we're getting all the social media stuff here. And if I look to the right, that means I'm grabbing your comments to share them. And maybe Heiser can see us now. Yep, I can see you. It's all good? Okay, so I thought we'd start with New Zealand. I'm already tired. It's just started. I thought we'd start with the Northern Territory, simply because it's a lot shorter than Queensland, and Queensland was a bit crazy yesterday going through it. I think I was going for what, over 2 hours, and I got a bit tired. So let's have a look. In the Northern Territory, we've got current senators 2, and the candidates. So there are 18 candidates. So there's they're not recontesting. The first one, second one is. So first one is the United Australia Party. Now, before we start going through each candidate, yeah, Charlie, I'll definitely share that comment. Before that'd be a horrible job. I'm already bald and going grey real quick. You see, going completely off topic, did you see Barack Obama? You know, how his early photos when he was young, and then when he got old really quick, it's a really old job. It really ages you quick. So let's have a look at the how to vote cards, just because, you know, I thought it might be interesting. So Group A is the UAP, that's Clive's party. And number 1, they put themselves. Number 2, the Country Liberals. Then the CEC, then Labor, and 6 Rise Up. I wonder if the Greens have anyone running. So the Australian Labor Party. Now they've got 1 Labor, 2 Greens. You know. You didn't see a Palmer ad. Well, then we'll have to fix that. We'll have to fix that. So I'm going to try as much as I can to keep up with the comments, guys. Group C, Country Liberals have 1 them, 2 UAP, 3 Group D, 4 the Hemp Party, 5 Labor, 6 the Greens. So, you know, Hemp Greens, good to see. The Northern Territory Centre for Rise Up Australia, they've got 1, and then 2 the Liberals, pretty much. And then 3 FAC&P, UAP, and CEC. Hemp Party, this is the best one of all of them. Just a 1, and end marijuana prohibition. Okay. Group G, CEC, and then Rise Up Australia. 3 the Greens. It tells you about the parties, doesn't it? And the Greens is 1, and then 2. They've put the Pot Party, and then the Australian Labor Party, Northern Territory brands. So Fraser Anning's Conservative Party, step 1, and then step 2, Rise Up Australia, Country Liberals, Citizens Electorate. So there we go. So that kind of gives you an idea of the relationship. Because I remember there's a whole lot of discussion about this type of thing, and who's giving preferences to who. I don't know if it's an issue. I don't know if I thought we were in a lockout period, but I'm seeing them all the time, pub, with the ads. What are the rest of you? His ads go on for for 2 hours. You know? Rotman, if you're going for your first vote tomorrow, you need to make sure you get a democracy dog. You know? You need a democracy dog. I might film it when we do it. So, let's have a look. The UAP. We had a look at them yesterday. They've got 2 candidates. It's Mr. Wolf and Ross Thomas. Let's have a look at the candidates. Where are we going? Wolf and Ross. University degree in property and valuation, has worked in the commercial and residential property market for 30 years. He's been a contractor for government in the property sector, including services to remote Indigenous communities. He's a former small business owner in accommodation and conference industry. Was a former board member of a local tourism authority. Okay, so he'd definitely have some valuable input, I'd imagine. Mr. Mcrobert, Ross Mcrobert. Why didn't they call him Robert? Robert Mcrobert. He's 44, married with 4 children. Currently working in the construction industry. He's also experienced as a store manager, business owner, and running a horse stud. The funny thing about the construction industry is, in NT, you don't need any building certifiers. So, you know, they've got people with business acumen and experience there for Clive's party. Nothing that would really surprise me, you know. The Australian Labor Branch, Northern Territory. So, who are we looking at here? Wayne MacArthur. You know what, we'll skip over them. We'll keep going. They're boring. Rise Up, or Country Liberals. How are they different? Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I just want to go. It's not unsafe. It just means they're cheap. Let's build a better Australia together. Here we go. Jacinta Price. She seems good, what I've seen on social media. Kathy Gainley. So yeah, it's interesting. G'day, thanks for joining, mate. I'm trying to, doing a different way of working with the comments. So, oh wait, let's have a look at some of their policies. I can't just consider them to be a copy of the Liberal Party, can I? Can I? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it's only just started. It's only just started. So, building our economy, securing our future. Yeah, so they're just a copy of the Liberal Party then, I'm assuming. The Rise Up Australia Party. We've got 2 candidates. And that's the Christian party that we discovered yesterday. Let's have they've got a party song. Let's look at their party song. Oh, here we go. Can you hear that, guys? Because I can't. Yeah, okay. Enough of that. Yeah, no. 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 Okay, so yeah, we're familiar with them. They've got the Rise Up Australia Party. Who else? The Marijuana Party, there's pretty much a single issue party. The CEC. Another major. An Aboriginal clever woman would be nice to be in power. We don't need another gay redhead like Gillard in. I think she's a bit too conservative. You know, not that I think that's great, but I wonder how her local constituents would go. Probably a lot of them would vote her in just for that. So at the CEC, they've got 2 senators, Trudy Campbell, Peter Flynn. Let's have a look. Trudy. While I'm now retired for 45 years, I had a career as a registered nurse midwife. During this period, I also had 8 enluded as a full-time political organisation with CEC Melbourne. Today, I'm the State Secretary for the CEC in Northern Territory. Mother of 4, grandmother of 5. Notice that how she had 4 kids and her 4 kids have only had 5. Maybe they're all young. Maybe they're all young. We've got a question here. Is it normal for Australia to have a party song? Yeah, I think a lot of them do. I think the Labor Party does. You know, I'm passionately concerned for the future, and I love to impart to this new generation my love of history, philosophy, theology, space, building things, mechanics, and a lot more. In 1991, that's 28 years ago, a good friend introduced me to the CEC, and the late US statesman, former US presidential candidate, and physical economist, Lyndon Roche, EIR magazine. Okay, oh, that's enough of that. Let's look at Peter. I've been a candidate for the CEC in the Senate or House of Representatives at every election since I discovered the CEC in 1998 and realised that there is an Australian political party that genuinely does have the interests of the nation and the people as their priority. The CEC is not a populist party that just wants to be elected. Our candidates fight for real policy solutions which make us very unpopular with the establishment and their political hacks. I'm 64 with 4 grown-up children. I've lived and operated an earth-moving contract business in Humpty Doo for 30 years. I grew up on wheat and sheep properties. Served 6 years in the Navy and worked as a heavy equipment machinist, mechanical and construction supervisor. Okay, so, you know, sounds like he's got a good policy. The only thing I remember from these guys yesterday was their banking and finance. I was probably pretty tired. Let's have a look at the taxation. Well, there's the policy there. We only got the summary. Yeah, that was what these guys are about. Let's look at their farming. To keep Australian farmers on the land, the CEC will place an immediate memorandum on farm foreclosures. Yeah, we looked at this before. Okay, so, you know, some candidates with lived experience that are coming from, you know, real life. That alone, I think, is a plus. That alone, I think, is what we need in Parliament. You need more people with lived real experience. And the Greens. Let's have a look at the Greens candidates for Northern Territory. Anne Siri. NT. Oh, what's she, 12? Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm your Green Senate candidate for the Northern Territory. I'm a veterinarian and public health advocate. I'm putting myself forward because I believe in a positive future for all Territorians. I'm standing for climate justice to protect our precious natural environment and promote a sustainable economy. So does it yeah, I'll add that one to the queue. Does it surprise us that you've got an inner city veterinarian? Oh, maybe not. I guess it's just the image here. That's what it's created in my head. She could be going out bush and taking care of the animals. That's unfair. As a vet, I'm committed to developing of our national animal welfare. Farmers also need support to transition from live export to sustainable markets, along with increased funding for animal disease surveillance and biosecurity. Yeah, climate justice. That's an interesting one as well. That's definitely an interesting one. I work hard to create a positive, sustainable future for all of us. So, I mean, great, good on her, but I would hazard a guess that her lived experience is not as extensive as some of the other people we've seen before. So, these are all the Northern Territory ones. Let's look at George and Timothy. So why are you running, mate? Hi, I'm George. I'm standing as your Greens candidate for Lingiria because all Territorians deserve to live in sustainable communities. Yes. Okay. My parents and grandparents were Kimberley Region First Nations people. My birthplace was Darwin, but I grew up in Bachelor. I'm currently living in Darwin's rural area near Barry Springs. About a year ago, my kidneys failed due to a hereditary condition known as polycystic kidney disease. Yes, that's actually a condition that Indigenous Australia's Aboriginals are more susceptible. If you're looking at risks of kidney disease, one of the questions they ask is if you're Indigenous. That's one of the problems. I'm just having a look. Good. All the streams seem to be working. Fantastic. And these comments seem to be coming in as I can see them, so good. Oh, good on him. You know, I'm a newcomer to politics. That's what we need. We are all, you know, sick and tired of politicians. I like this one. Why is he wearing a Hawaiian shirt? Dude, looks like he's on holiday. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Hawaiian shirts. I gotta pull mine out again for some videos. All the Territorians deserve real homes. You also need to get rid of the noisy, expensive and unreliable diesel generators. New homes on communities should be powered by solar microgrids that will serve for decades. Okay, that sounds great. I like the idea of it, particularly for the remote indigenous communities. But you need to maintain them. You need to maintain them, and that's the issue here. That's the problem that we have. Vote for me, yeah, well, vote for me because I got a disease. Yeah, that seems, it doesn't seem selling yourself, does it? But I mean, he's a newcomer, he'll learn. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm a Darwin-based artist and filmmaker, and I'm proud to be your Greens candidate for Solomon. Darwin-based artist and filmmaker. Do I need to read him here? You subscribe stuff for Heiser to buy some decent chips and pay his missus to throw out the gay shirt. Well, I'll let you know, Charlie, that Rachel went to, what is it, the sewing place she goes to and spends money, Lincraft, and she bought a whole lot of patterns. She actually makes my shirts for me. None of the ones I'm wearing now, but I'll let you know next time. I'll let you know next time. So, I mean, do I even have to read about him? He looks like a stereotype. I'm shocked there's no man bun there, you know. Hang on. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I mean, if we had like a man bun and maybe some chopsticks. Is that just me? Okay, that's childish. My parents helped rebuild Darwin from scratch after Cyclone Tracy when the whole town had to work together as a community. I believe strongly in the resilience of Territorians, especially our Indigenous peoples. Teaching video skills in Aboriginal communities across the territory has given me a deep respect for Indigenous cultures. I acknowledge the need for us to confront our colonial history and achieve reconciliation with our First Peoples. How about, you know, we kind of improve their living conditions, you know? How about we do that? How about instead of the government teaching like children, you know, and spending all this money on bridging the gap, which has achieved bugger all, we do common sense approaches, maybe like just improving the housing stock. I don't know. So there's the Greens. No surprises there, to be honest. Let's look at Fraser Anning's Conservative National Party. Notice how when they registered the party name, they did it all in capital letters. So it stands out even in a form like this. So there you go. That's just a smart little move. Let's make common sense common again. Okay, let's look at his Territorian candidates. Okay. Great. One of the guy's called Mark, the other one's called James. Mark's last name is actually Dixon, and he's running for the Northern Territory Senate, and James Wheeler is for the Northern Territory Senate. So, you know, what do you reckon, guys? Have they sold you? You know, I guess it's the issue when you're so close to the run. So let's have a look at, I think that's all of them. We'll look at Labor. I'll try and find the Labor Senate candidates. Oops. Bill Shorten. Senator for the Northern Territory. Malarindi. No, I'm not going to donate. Look at that. Wow. Is a young Uwa woman from Burulua in the Gulf of Carpentaria, and I know I butchered those names. Before announcing her candidacy for the Senate, she was a senior presenter and journalist for NITV News. Okay. Not so well, that's probably all I need to know, really. It's their version of of ABC, isn't it, up there? From 2005 to 2012, she represented the people of Arnhem Land in Northern Territory Parliament. Okay, she's an experienced politician. Has held numerous portfolios, including children and family, Indigenous and regional development, women, tourism, and local government. Okay, well, we know how terrible conditions are for children and family and Indigenous domestic violence, particularly North Queensland is bad. I know it's the territory, but come on. Yeah. Oh well. It's just all it's all career politicians, isn't it? It's all career politicians. Oh, I can't find him. Okay, guys, so that's Northern Territory. Do you have any questions about the lot we've got there? I'll just add yours to the group. I'm sick of the Greens too, to Barry. I think a lot of people are as well, honestly. Yeah, career parasitis. Did Bob Hawke die? I think he did. Let's have a look. Yes, today. Bob Hawke dies at age 89. Former Prime Minister died in his Sydney home on Tuesday. He was aged 89. Today we lost Bob Hawke, a great Australian, many would say the greatest Australian of the post-war era. Mr. Hawke's wife, Blanche Albuquerque, said in a statement. Oh, well, poor old Hawkey, eh? I'm sure, you know, the next few generations might... the next few generations will, you know, make sure no Australian child can live out of poverty. I remember that as a kid. As a kid, I asked my father to vote for Bob Hawke for that, because I heard it on the telly. You know? Oh, well. At least he could chug a stein. He could drink a beer. You know, that was back when politicians could act like men and not get treated like utter pansy ass. Well, was it just me, or was there respect between the politicians more back then than now? We had stability, you had leadership, and now it's just social media bickering crap, and you know, they're changing PMs every week. So, okay, New South Wales. New South Wales. Let's have a look. Senators facing election, 2 from Liberal National, 1 from Labor, 1 from Greens, UAP 1, Liberal Democrats 1. Okay, and this is Lionhelm's former seat. So, who do we have here? We've got the Rise Up Australia Party. We've looked at those again. Anyone want to see the Rise Up Australia again? You know, the Hemp Party. Let's look at the Health Australia Party. We've seen those. But yeah, if he can chug a beer, we can forgive him. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean, guys. Okay. The Health Australia Party. People, environment, democracy, society, economy. Look at their colour scheme. Look at their persuasion. What do you think, guys? What do you reckon? Are we going to vote left or right? Where do you think? Here. And yeah, no, it can't give them the vote, could it? Andrew reckons they're commies. Got a few that are commies. Left. Communist. Rise Up Australia is a Christian Conservative party. We can have a look. We've looked at it a few times. Hopefully this will get easier. Values. They've got a party song. Do you love this country? Anti-Sharia law. Their policies, you know, multiculturalism, education, freedom of speech. So they seem reasonable. I think this is a heavy Christian party. It's about the current Labor. It's the fact that they constantly fight with each other. I'm put off by their by the layout, to be honest. I'm a bit worried that there's so many leftist parties here, guys. We're seeing more and more in Australia. Anyway, individually, we are one drop. Together, we're an ocean. Do I need to read any more? Do I need to read any more? Okay. HAP versus the three major parties on natural therapies. Reinstate private health rebates. Yes. Promote national integrative healthcare model. I don't know what that means. Medicare coverage for recognized natural therapies. Are these a is this a anti-vaxxer party? Is anyone familiar with them? Oh, here we go. No, Pub has a theory for us. It's all Soros money. That's what it is. So let's keep going. Maintain GST-free natural... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I've got to keep going. Independent Agency for Natural Medicine Research. Okay. Isn't that what medicine is? You kind of research the natural medicines and then refine it to get more potent products? Or is this like the whole... what's it with the water that you keep with the vibrations, that medicine that they have there? I can't remember. Oh, come on. Someone will know in the comments. The hippie one where you keep dividing it up by 10 and 10 and 10 to get more water. Chiropractor party. No, not quite. I'll remember it later. Oh, let's have a look at some of their vaccination. Homeopathy. Yes. Yes, homeopathy. I remember I went to a pharmacist to get some medicine for our little baby. This is our first child, so we're doing lots of stupid things overreacting. And you kind of grow out of that real quick when you get more kids. But still, I went there to get some medicine, even some Panadol or something. She was teething. And he sold me this jar of homeopathic medicine. And I went and took it there, and I measured it all out and fed it to her. And then I looked at the box. And I said, I wonder what the active ingredient is here. And it's nothing. I rang up and yelled at him, this is bullshit. You're a professional. You can't be selling this woo garbage. You need to at least tell me there's no active ingredients there. So, yeah, I got pretty angry. I threatened to report him to the Pharmacy Guild. So, they should at least tell you. So let's have a look. The HAP has been wrongly accused of being an anti-vaccination party. Some of the accusers are simply being dishonest. Others may confuse the fact that we oppose no jab, no pay legislation in the state and federal parliaments with being anti-vax. We wish to provide a number of items on this page to put the record straight. Please read carefully. Have a general interest in the truth. By no people. Okay. According to so they're not an anti-vax party. It looks like they're a pro-choice party. What else? The one advantage of homeopathic medicine is, and particularly the hospitals, because Prince Charles is a big advocate for it, is that doctors will spend a lot more time with the patients, and they'll put them more at ease, and it'll be better one-on-one care. Because right now, you go to a doctor, you get 15 minutes in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So there's certain advantages with being able to take it slower. And that's my understanding. That's one of the main advantages. And it's a placebo effect. That's proven as well. I was just pissed. So let's have a look. Australia's experienced an epidemic of chronic disease, which is rarely discussed by health officials. Let's see what they have. Is it keto? What about low carb? What about diet? Okay. Well, I've suddenly lost interest in the party. So none of the things I'm interested in anyway. The current medical business model provides no incentive for drug manufacturers to promote good health. The HAP will lead an open, objective analysis of this model. Rather than assuming that the only way to better achieve medical care is to spend more money, the HAP will demonstrate through scientific and economic analysis that the best way to manage long-term healthcare costs is to make people healthier. Well, I really agree with that. I think that's fantastic. You're right about the guild getting them there, not selling their homeopathic products. Yeah, you're probably right. So yes, Andrew, that's the exact thing I was looking for here. You know, are they going to keep with the current BS food pyramid? Yeah, I was looking for that. But the fact that they're highlighting, you know, a rigorous scientific analysis hopefully would capture some of the fact that our health guidelines or our dietary guidelines are utter garbage. You know, utter garbage. The result will be happier and more productive community where quality of life matches longevity. It will also help make the health budget sustainable. Yeah, no, that's actually good. I really like that policy, or that summary there. They intend to recognize that a broad, integrative approach to healthcare is required based on what is best for patients and free from corporate or personal vested interest. Yeah, no, that's good. Support a national system of healthcare which encourages collaboration between general practitioners, specialists, allied health professionals, natural healthcare practitioners. Okay? Recognise that the present epidemic of chronic disease in Australia needs to be managed using a different paradigm which includes natural medicine, and the potentially serious infectious diseases be managed using a thoroughly researched program of immunisation that is both safe and effective. Well, yeah, actually look back in the history of Kellogg's, how they were involved in a lot of the Seventh-day Adventists too, how they were involved in the establishment of the food guidelines in America, and how much religion played a part in that. So yes, about your comment about Kellogg's. So I like what they're saying here, but I don't know if the approach is going to be good. The food pyramid, on Roscoe, there's very little evidence, very little scientific research, clinical evidence based on the decisions behind the food pyramid. A lot of it based on research which is simply survey-based. So there's two different types of research into our diet and food, so there's a lot of problems with it. And the actual clinical research is really finding that a lot of what the assumptions that we've based their diet on are wrong, haven't been proven correct. Natural medicine, they keep talking about natural medicine. Okay. Academic freedom. HAP recognises with great concern the attempts by resource and influential lobby groups to stifle academic freedom within Australian universities. Yes, I agree with that. Maternity and birthing, HAP would like to see reforms to the maternity services system in Australia, similar to that of New Zealand, where women can choose their lead maternity care provider and are eligible for free maternity care regardless of where they choose to birth, including those who wish to birth at home. Okay. I mean, that's a good idea. I agree with that. But they're a little too wishy-washy for me. Under no circumstances should the government agency ever be empowered to independently end anyone's life. Yeah, you know where that's going to go, don't you? You know exactly where that's going to go. If a demonstrable medical reason exists that causes a very poor quality of life, then a patient should have the right to be able to choose to terminate their own life. Medical malpractice reform. The current Australian system is heavily dependent on medical malpractice lawsuits and is expensive, secretive, and compensation is often inadequate. Medical cannabis. Yes, I think the best luck you're going to have with tax reform is the LDP there, Charlie. Okay. Anyone want to see let's see what their fluoride policy is. Sodium fluoride and other chemicals produce fluoride are toxic. Chemical waste products that are classified as class 6 poisons should not be placed in public water supplies. Yeah, I mean, people can use fluoride if they want themselves. HAP believes that pharmacists may have a significant role to play in consulting with patients as well as with dispensing, new policy being considered. Well, yeah, there's a big problem with pharmacies here in Australia, with the new ones coming in. You know, the big chains. Hey Adam, welcome. How you going, mate? Thanks for joining. We're just looking through all the different political parties in New South Wales. that are running for Senate. This is their health party. I think it'd be right up your alley, mate. You know. So yeah, small businesses. Okay. Oh wait, tax reform. Here we go. Wealthy individuals and corporations should not be overly taxed, nor should they be able to escape paying a reasonable share of taxation. The widespread practice of moving revenue offshore to avoid paying Australian tax should be stopped. Naturally, the HAP will support a balanced mix of revenue collection and expenditure that promotes prosperity while ensuring fairness for all citizens. The HAP does not support an increase in the GST until all genuine cost savings and revenue-raising options have been thoroughly explored. Potential savings exist in the areas of negative gearing, superannuation, inequalities, tax avoidance, through transfer pricing by international groups, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I think that gives us a bit of an understanding of nuclear energy, one of my ones. HA believes that until nuclear energy can be produced with complete safety and until nuclear waste can be rendered completely harmless, then Australia should not use nuclear energy. Okay. Oh well. It is noted that Germany ended construction of new nuclear power stations following the Fukushima disaster, and now they're importing their power from France and are dependent on Russia as well. Yep. Cool. Well, sorry, oh, you didn't write that in there. Why not? The HAP believes that Australia will be wise to learn from this evidence-based caution. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There we go. So there is the Health Australia Party. Okay. That's a new one. Liberal and National, we'll skip them. Pirate Party, we looked at them yesterday. The Affordable Housing Party, here we go. Hey, Rachel.
Do you have a coffee?
I do. You can bring me another one.
Do you need another one?
Yes. Okay, let's have a look at the Affordable Housing Party, guys. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments. You think left-leaning or right-leaning? And what do you think affordability is? With regards to nuclear power, there's fourth-gen power that's coming online that can address it. So you have Korea, which will have North Korea, which will have better power than us. Really? Left and tiny houses. Is it going to be tiny houses? Does everyone think it's going to be tiny houses? Aren't they called caravans? Aren't they called caravans, guys? Tiny houses. You know? So let's have a look here. Lego house. I doubt they'll address the core root issues of cost of living and high cost of land homes. Yep. Oh wait, no, everyone. Andrew's got the best tiny house solution here. Tents. Tents are the best. Okay. You see that how they're trying to help all the homeless people by giving them tents, you know, rather than real accommodation. So here we go. Lead Senate candidate for New South Wales. Andrew Potts. Good hairstyle. Like that. Andrew Potts is a 40-year-old freelance journalist and print publications editor. He's been the national conveyor of the Affordable Housing Party since 2015, managing the party's day-to-day affairs, and is a former editor of the Sydney Star Observer newspaper, where he was responsible for leading a small editorial team and design team. Okay, so he's a journalist. He is a freelance journalist. Andrew holds a bachelor's degree in visual arts from the University of Sydney. He's also involved in the Australian film industry as an associate producer. Yep, so cool. And how would he have the skills to address affordable housing? You know, I guess. Number 2 is Senate candidate. He could be a builder. He could be a builder. Anthony Seabell is a small business owner and renters' rights advocate and founder of the landlord review website don'trentme.com. Anthony has frequently appeared on programs like Channel 9, A Current Affair, exposing shonky landlords and substandard rental contracts. And okay. Anthony is an experienced information technology professional and software developer and has built a number of small businesses, including a software service business and a tire and automotive retailing business. Oh, here we go. Crowbites has got the best solution for it. And Adam is trying to send me beers from Facebook. Mate, it's not going to work with my thing. Hang on, I need to... Let's see. Yeah, mate, I can't get it working here. So let's keep going. But yeah. So what are their policies? How are they going to do it? Well, let's look at about them first. The Affordable Housing Party is a progressive-leaning, non-ideological, single-issue party dedicated... Wow, those are all... I guess non-ideological is good, but I don't believe them because they're progressive. Isn't that like the definition of ideology? And single-issue party dedicated to ending Australia's housing crisis. The danger with a single-issue party is they could vote all over the place. So I guess, you know, Guys, I'll start sending beers later. Okay, policies, our solution. First and foremost, the Australian government must adopt a comprehensive national affordable housing strategy. Okay, that's an easy sentence to write. That's the thing. You get a feeling that a lot of these people are just, you know, it's put up a website so they've got a party, political party. I mean, you think they're doing it to pick up chicks? Would you pull girls with this? What do you reckon? Being a politician? I doubt it. Okay, get rid of negative gearing on investment properties. Negative gearing increases demand for housing ownership as it grants the ability to investors to reduce the taxable income, which effectively subsidises their investment. Even Paul Keating has admitted its removal did not affect the cost of renting in Australia when it was removed, and the facts don't bear this out, as rents did not go up in other parts of Australia, only Perth and Sydney, where there was a historic undersupply of housing at the time. What negative gearing really does is give investors a reason to outbid first home buyers at auction because you can't negative gear your home. Well, yeah. Okay, so why don't they look at good old Clive's policy where you can deduct the interest on your home? See, that's the thing. I really like that idea because it's simple. You know? Here we go. It's simple. Thanks for the super chat, Thomas. Appreciate it, mate. I'll have to scull it then. Hey, maybe I'll do that. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, no, I won't scull that one. No, a beer. Back in the old days, hey? So, yeah. Now, bloody, you can ask out my friend Adam here who's in the chat. He's gone out drinking with me before it gets messy. When we go to the German club here in Brisbane. If you're local in Brisbane, you've got to hit the German club up, guys and lasses. The food's great. The music is hilarious, and you can get any imported German beer you want. I remember I used to have a Christmas party there with staff, and I'd bring there's this smoked bacon beer, and I'd get my staff to drink it when they first started. It tasted like crap, but that's part of it. It'd probably be done now for bullying these days, you know, what used to be called bonding. Okay, get rid of capital gains discount on housing sales. This is another factor which encourages people to invest heavily in housing, contribute to out-of-control house prices, particularly in concert with negative gearing. Increase the rate of Centrelink payments like New Start and pensions, and increase rental assistance payments. Okay, so they're not thinking outside the box. They're not thinking outside the box. AU wants to know where the Sharia party is. And G Slim's asking if Bob Hawke died. Yeah, mate, he did die today. He died today. We just read an article about it earlier today. 89. You can't complain about that run. You know, that's a good run. Ban or tax full-time Airbnb type properties that the owner never lives in and operated like a hotel or hostel. I've got a friend who loves doing that. He loves his Airbnb. He bought an investment property, and his wife's pissed because he keeps Airbnb-ing it and not going on holidays down there. Yeah, it's awesome. But okay. And the problem with this is that that's actually a good point, because if you're building a building as a short stay hotel as opposed to an apartment building for long-term accommodation, you've got different fire code legislation. Even the fire separation between different parts of the building is different, you know. Escape paths, all these other issues come into it. So they're actually changing the they're changing the function of the building and changing the classification of the building post-construction. You can't do that. Subject: bankers, real estate agents, lawyers, accountants, and other associated professionals with roles in the property sector to the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Act to stamp out money laundering by organised crime in Australia's real estate market. Yeah, that sounds good. I know there's a lot of friends give each other kickbacks and stuff, you know. So, increase federal funding for public, social, affordable housing. Yep. Assistance to first home buyers, so they're going to give them more money. So they're all just printing money. National consistent and improved rights for renters. They're taking care of the renters. Stop people from being able to invest their superannuation in residential property. A diverse and multicultural Australia, but not a big Australia. Okay. They're pretty left. Single issue party. The Affordable Housing Party supports Australia's migration program and opposes immigration policies that single out particular groups or place refugees on precarious temporary protection visas that are constantly reviewed and will prevent them and their families planning for their future. Yeah. So what do we have here? Yeah, no one's suggesting ditch Centrelink for a $500 per week UBI. They did that in one of the Scandinavian countries. I did a video on it to help them find employment. It made them happier. Didn't work, but it made them happier. It's probably good. You know. What if everything goes wrong? Okay, so what do they stand on other issues? We see ourselves as very much a progressive side of politics. Yep. No, you're ideological, boys. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. You keep using the word progressive. They're ideological. So, yep, I'd say they're left, a little too left-leaning, not thinking how the market can provide innovative solutions to this. You know, a lot of market interference. Hey, shooters, fishers. We looked at those. The Australian People's Party. Let's check them out. So, that's this. What are you saying here about? Anti-money laundering laws also start reducing cash and then make all transactions traceable for law-abiding citizens. Yes. I can't see the rest of your comment because it's limited to it in the window, Thomas. But yeah, have you noticed? Or in Australia now, next financial year we can't do transactions over $10,000 in cash anymore. That's already come in. So yeah, time to move to crypto, guys. Okay, the Australian People's Party. Let's put it out to the comments again. Are we thinking left or right? I'm thinking just because they've got the word people in there, it's going to be left. You know? And Roscoe, every UBI has been discredited more than the gender wage gap. Yep. No, you're right there. What if I make 2 transactions of $10,000 cash? Then ACO will pick you up, mate. They'll pick you up. They'll get you. Okay. The Australian People's Party supports transparent, accountable and honest government. We're a centrist party. Okay, they're a centrist. Remember that. They consider themselves centrist. Neither supporting left or right-wing ideologies, but common sense policies and ideas. Our party supports politicians who make decisions for the good of the country and all Australians, not for their own self-interest, ideology, financing donors, or to buy votes. At the next election, Australians have a choice to make: continue with the status quo or vote for a fairer, sustainable and better Australia for all Australians. You have a choice in the Australian People's Party. Some say we can't form government because we are too small, but we can influence decisions being made and avoid bad laws being introduced. If you carefully examine the laws introduced by the major parties, none of them provide voters with detailed analysis of the impact of those laws, nor do they show how those laws reward their supporters or donors. What have they got to hide? Well, that's, you know, we need to get the LDP sunset clauses in. You know, we need them to push that. I think, you know, at the end, it'd be worth going through all these parties and just getting all the best policies and seeing how you could craft them together. As the party indicates, we are people just like you, representing you and your family, your aspirations, and fair go. Okay, so what are... Let's look at their candidates, their leadership. Where's their policies? Oh, here. So let's look at their policies. Not for sales. Social security and living standards. Increase age pension by $75 per fortnight for singles and $100 for couples. Reduce age requirements for pension back to 65 for both men and women. Okay, sounds good. Increase in use up by $100 a fortnight. So they're printing money. Provide employment, education, training in the armed services or with councils for those unemployed more than a year. Sounding like a job guarantee again, you know. Require all welfare recipients to supply photo ID when applying to eliminate fraud. Support NDIS, name change to National Investment Scheme and NDIS reform campaign. Fully fund childcare only for working parents and properly means tested. Incentives for businesses with more than 1,000 employees. I haven't seen anyone yet talk about getting rid of fringe benefit tax and allowing businesses to pay for this as part of packages. That'd be a policy I'd put in place. The more I think about it, the more we need to get government out of business, out of the market, to allow people to sort this stuff out. To allow the market to address these type of things. Every time that government steps in, it really is just, as Carrie Ann would say, feeding the chooks. And environmental issues. Support renewable power, renewable energy without jeopardizing energy reliability. Provide tax incentives to businesses to reduce pollution. Well, they already are. All government buildings should have solar panels with battery installed. They've done that. They did that in a Brisbane building here in Brisbane. You know, it was all hoo-ha, and I remember when I was at uni, and they were showing how much power it produced. You could walk by and see it. And now, what do you think it's doing now? It's barely making anything. Because you've got to maintain it. That's the problem. You've got to maintain it, and that's decentralized maintenance as opposed to centralized maintenance. It's inefficient. Fracking memorandum, build solar plants in Western. Okay, so build more dams. Good, I like that one. And a pipeline from Queensland to bring water to New South Wales. At least people are talking about dams. Develop a comprehensive plan to transition to renewables over the next 12 years. Okay, so how are these guys different from the Greens? Oh, here we go. Wait. Here we go. G Slim, you got the best comment. Yep, I agree. Bloody bass. Bloody bass. Oh. Yeah. And the issue with the batteries too is just the energy in those minerals, Charlie, that they got to bring in. You know? Education. Taxation. Simplify individual tax system by removing the tax-free threshold. Allow no work-related deductions. What? Remove tax offsets. Our tax scale. Oh, so they're making everyone pay. Okay. Yeah. That's not simplified. You're just going to put a burden on the poorest people. Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, I think you're right there, mate. I think it is a bigger government. I think it is. Okay. Well, okay, lefties, bigger government. They've got all the solution because they're people just like us. Let's see what their housing affordability are. Reduce capital gains tax discount from... Okay, yep. Allow negative gearing only for one rental property. No deductions for interest. Okay. Abolish stamp duty. The thing is, the people that are getting these deductions on the negative gearing property, what do you think they're doing with that money? You know, they're not Scrooge McDucking it and diving into it. They're spending it on other stuff. You know, it keeps moving around. It keeps moving around. If you put it in the if you tax that, it's going to be less efficient. The more ways we can keep money out of the hands with the government. You know, I've got to share Rachel's comment. Or she'll get angry at me. The more money we can keep out of the hands of the government, the better. So yeah, stamp duty is a state issue. It's they want to abolish it Australia-wide, though, Rachel. They want to get rid of it. Okay. Well, there we go. I mean, nothing jumps out at me here as innovative. You know? Nothing jumps out here as innovative for me. So we were right, another lefty party. How many bloody lefty parties are there? Can we make Marxism a mental disorder? Well, technically by the definition of a disease, it does inhibit your ability, doesn't it? Causes you ill harm. So, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Australian People's Labor, Country Labor. I'll open them up, but let's jump straight to everyone's favourite party, the Socialist Alliance. The Socialist Alliance. So hang on. Wait, no. Okay, I need to get a sound clip of the Soviet anthem. You know, that's at least one good thing. Okay. Oh, here we go. This will be good. So, Andrew, if you're going to attend your girlfriend's gender studies course, can you share it with us all, please? Document it. So, our lives are worth more than their profits. Okay, comrade, do you feel it? Get your rifles. Get to the barricades. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. We'll take him down. Australia is a wealthy country. We have the resources to guarantee everybody a decent life and to take genuine climate action. Oh, come on. Even the commies are cucked to the climate. Oh. But inequality in this country is extreme and getting worse, and climate action is desperately needed, but not on offer from the parties of government. It's time for a change. The Morrison government stands discredited before the Australian people, but the Labor opposition is offering only a best token change. Labor is not promising to stop the Adani mine. Bastards. Bastards. You know, against the Brotherhood, against Comrade. They're not promising to end boat turnbacks or free the refugees on Manus or Nauru. They're not promising to raise the pitifully low New Start allowance. It's New Start. It's not New Stop. It's New Start. You're going to be starting something. Starting. They are not promising to create public sector jobs or to abolish anti-worker laws such as restrictions on the right to strike. They're not promising to tackle the scourge of intimate partner violence. Or at least they... Oh, wait, no. I thought they were going to be admitting it's bilateral and harassment of an assault against women in the workplace, families and communities around the country. Liberal and Labor governments have been serving corporate interests and are not that of the ordinary people. We deserve better than what is on offer. It's all about what they deserve, isn't it? It's what they deserve. Really feels arrogant, doesn't it? The Social Alliance is running in this election to help build a movement for people power, not corporate power. We seek your support as a step towards achieving the profound change that is not only needed, it is possible. Now let's have a look at the people that will be ordering the rifles to our heads. Everyone? Okay. Let's have a look. Susan Price for New South Wales. Australian billionaires increased the combined wealth by 100 million per day. But if we just print money, everyone will have it. Last year, while First Nation communities, working class communities and single parents are under extreme and growing pressure from job insecurity, low wages and cuts to welfare. How is this fair? Okay. I've got a 6-year-old that I explain that life isn't fair to nearly every day. Isn't this something that people realize? Aren't you taught that life isn't fair? Life is a constant competition. Social Alliance says we need to tax the super rich and big corporations, not give them more tax cuts and handouts. Okay, what happens when you tax the super rich and the big corporations? What happens? They have the capacity to leave. They have the freedom. You can't hold them there. It's all the people that you represent that are going to get stuffed. Just look at bloody Venezuela. Look at history. But it'll work this time. Okay, let's have a look at some of their policies. Okay, solidarity and cooperation, true equality, environmental and sustainable. What? Oh, this must be like a political party template. Wait. So one thing about the manna from heaven in the Bible, and Rachel just told me this the other day. The Bible, when God was giving people food, he gave them manna during the day, but at night they had animals. All the birds are gathered around. So there you go, you know. Another arrow in the head for veganism right there. So no, we need more than manna. But yeah, rye buried. They'd probably ban meat. Okay, come on. Solidarity and cooperation. So cool. Tamil self-determination, yeah. US base is out now. Palestine, Iraq. So the Social Alliance recognizes the Tamils as an oppressed nation within Sri Lanka and supports their right to self-determination. This would mean the Tamil, the Tamil Tigers, should have the right to choose whether they wish to be part of a united Sri Lanka, to break away and form an independent Tamil state in the traditional homelands in the north and east of the island, or to have some intermediary such as federalism or autonomy. Okay. They want to increase US military presence is a setback for peace. The number of joint US-Australian military exercises on Australian soil, I need a coffee, continues to grow. Okay, cool. They support campaigns for an end to aggressive military alliances. The removal of all military... Yep, okay, so we kind of need defense here in Australia, don't we? Palestine, here we go. They support... I'm going to take a guess on who they support here. Socialist Alliance recognises the central role that international, including Australian, imperialism plays in supporting the Israeli system of apartheid and occupation through massive political, economic and military aid. It condemns the ethnic cleansing of Palestine by the State of Israel and the denial of Palestinian rights by Israel throughout the historic Palestine, both within the 1948 borders of Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. My understanding is that hasn't Israel offered two-party solutions over and over again, or two-nation solutions, and they've been rejected every time? And isn't Hamas launching rockets there rather than feeding their people? What's that? Pub. So the policies are success. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. It hasn't been updated. So, okay, I mean, come on. It's a bit of a joke. Let's see what else we can find here. Let's see what find. What else? Where would they be about free speech? Charter for Women's Rights, LGBTI equality, intersex rights, no room for racism, trans people's rights. We've all got rights. We already have them. We don't need more bloody identity. So they're just identity politics. Identity politics. Defend 18C. Okay, well there you go. There's enough right there. I'm not reading any more, guys. They completely want to clamp down on speech. That's enough. And it's a WordPress site anyway. But yeah. Anyone want to learn anything else about the Socialist Alliance? I can't keep going through them. Supports a campaign for... Yeah. Okay, no surprises there. Bit depressing, actually. The Together Party. I've had a look at them. I've done a minor matters on the Together Party. And... I'll bring that up for you if you haven't seen it. But they're a bunch of tree huggers. So, I've done it here. Political party that wants to nationalise failing NGOs and provide universal basic income. They've got a few interesting ideas to the party, but yeah, just nationalising a whole lot of things. Let's have a look. Let's see what their policy is. I got this from their manifesto. Positions. Connecting the regions to politics. Why is no one talking about non-voters? Manifesto, better spending, better society, better let's look at better spending. Better spending. Isn't that an oxymoron with government? You can't really have better spending. We should invest in learning, not defense. Free undergraduate university education. That was done in Whitlam's time. It made absolutely no difference to the class of people that was going to university education. It just gave all the politicians and the upper class free university education. We can be a renewable superpower. Ah, yeah, I remember these guys. Yeah, I mean, we can't be a renewable superpower. We don't even have a manufacturing industry. We can't even make a bloody toilet in this country right now. Call flutes are imported from overseas. You know? Government investment in industry development is inevitable and should favor the future. Renewables. Everyone's talking about renewables. Everyone's talking about renewables. You know? Communities before profits, improving onshore criminal justice. We can also refer to the way we fund government services or projects and raise taxes. Turbocharged sovereign wealth fund, a new land tax paid by all landowners, universal basic income, corporate tax turnover taxation, reduce public funding of private healthcare. Private school funding should be reviewed and reduced with a boost to public school funding. Yeah, I don't like that one, considering I go to we pay to go to a private school because it suits us better and we're actually putting less burden on the public system. And, you know, we pay taxes too. Indigenous justice, they want a treaty. Are these the guys that want to have that additional Indigenous voice in Parliament? Public broadcast guarantees, they want to fund ABC, SBS. So, yeah, I mean, they're reasonably left-leaning. So, yeah. So the Australian Conservatives, we've looked at them. The Great Australia Party, we looked at those yesterday. So yeah, Andrew's got it. Free stuff until we run out of eggs, run out of tax. Steak and Eggs wants us to become a state of the United States. And Synth is going, free stuff is free until you start making money, then you're evil and should pay for it. Yep. Fraser was saying no one makes caps in Australia. What, hats? Is that true, Charlie? They don't make hats in Australia anymore. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. You know. It's kind of sad, isn't it? It's kind of sad. Let's look at the Christian Democratic Party. We haven't looked at them before. Heiser says we should have no tax in Australia. What a fantastic idea. I say we should minimize it. Minimize government and be smarter with it. You know, reduce the amount that goes through the government. It increases inefficiencies. It increases inefficiencies. I guess I've got more faith in the free market than not. So let's look at the CDP. What are their policies? Thomas wants to have the community channels for Bris 31. I've watched that a couple of times. But isn't it kind of like a dead medium in some ways? When you've got social media now and YouTube and everything? How many people watch it? What's their reach? That's the thing. I'd rather you give some, get the NBN better or done. Okay, let's look. Well, first we'll look about them, and then some of their policies. Charlie's asking, wasn't Bris 31 full of left-wing nuts? And I only remember watching one show where a bunch of Americans went to South America and they were giving the local villagers cigarettes as payment because they couldn't have money. It's like in the 50s, very, very racist. It was hilarious. Okay. The Christian Democratic Party is Australia's only registered national Christian political party. Although it is registered as a political party, it operates on non-party political lines. The CDP was founded by a group of caring Australian ministers with high ethical values based on the Christian values and ethics. The aim of its members is to promote the common good by endorsing responsible long-term goals and not short-term gain. That's smart. That is smart. Okay. The organisational and parliamentary wings of the CDP each have clearly defined and separate roles. In the CDP, the organisational wing does not dictate policy, but rather consults with and advises the parliamentary wing policies. Okay, we don't need to read that. Let's have a look at their policies now. Let's have a look at their law and order. What? Law and order. Where's their policy? Okay. Is that their policy? Law and order is a foundation of society's social order and business confidence. As such, it needs to be balanced with a moral social code, effective law enforcement, and an effective judiciary, and a wisely governed penal system that seeks to restore convicted persons where possible to good contributors to society, including a fundamental position of one law for all. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, we can see what's happening in Melbourne, can't we? I think someone left a comment on a video yesterday where in North Brisbane he'd gotten mugged and robbed and the police didn't even turn up because they get too many. So what's happening? It's just going to get worse. The economic decisions made for a community determine the financial well-being of each person in that community. A healthy economy is one where people are able to get a meaningful and sufficiently remunerating job that allows a balance between work and non-work times. CDP holds to ensure a healthy environment for businesses to start and grow, ultimately contributing to job growth and strong economy for the country. Okay, so they've got an understanding of business, which is good. I mean, these aren't very in-depth policies. Quality education is fundamental to a prosperous and equal society. Education must be about installing life skills and training students towards life beyond the education system capable of diverse career choices. Yes. The so-called 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, and parental rights to have a say in their children's education must be foundational to the education system. CDP supports special religious education and scripture classes as a mainstream option in our schools and a basic right for children to explore their faith with their family. Equal access and protection of Christian tertiary education, removal of safe schools and gender ideologies. Yeah, I'm happy with a lot of what they're putting here. Particularly the parental involvement in education, I think, is very important. Human survival globally is dependent upon the natural world. We're called to be stewards of the environment and ensure the right balance is struck between the good and sustainable use of the earth. This means we support sustainable use of the environment, proper conservation, and ensure biodiversity. A living world is the environment in which we live, and we must live with the consequences of how we manage it. Economic paradigm of maximizing exploitation of natural resources must be balanced with caretaker and sustainable programs. Here we go. So Rachel, they're stronger. In New South Wales State Parliament, Fred Nile has been a senator forever. Okay. Yeah, I think your father knows him, doesn't he, Rachel? So, social security. The responsibility of a civilised society is to care for the vulnerable, marginalised, elderly, disabled, and the disadvantaged. In Australia, this has been managed through policy of a safety net, which needs to be sustainable and fair and available for those who generally need it. Yep, housing. Okay. So, it is imperative that every family has a place to call home, a place that provides stability, security, yada yada yada. The development of housing affordability in Australia has historically been maintained by housing supply through government departments, Housing Commission, which successfully housed the population over 2 generations in affordable, adequate housing. Well, yeah, my father worked for them years ago. The abandonment of this to economic rationalists, market forces, private developers, has resulted in the housing affordability crisis. We believe a return to government housing departments focusing on building as opposed to currently being a rental facility is essential to first home affordability. A review of the government changes on land development is urgently needed. The problem with that is the bad designs, but that's an architectural issue, I guess, with what they were putting out. Yeah, I agree with you there. 1, 2, 3 logic, you know. They need to reduce some of the costs there of construction. Labelling. Truth in labeling. We purchase products and packages influenced by the words written on the labels, and such information must be able to be depended upon. We will pursue policies for accurately labeling of all packaged products and appropriate health disclosures. Yes, I actually really like this policy, or this issue. This is something that I'm concerned about, particularly with regards to vegetable oil. I think it should all be called seed oil. And, just a labeling of all halal food. If you don't want to contribute to, halal, or if you don't want to eat it for other reasons, it should be clearly labeled. Employment. So, the CDP is for jobs in the community. We support local industry, local jobs, and build it here. We believe a fair economy and a society is one where each person who wants a job can attain one at fair remuneration. The CDP understands the importance of a strong economy and facilitates jobs for the people of New South Wales. CDP proactively works to advocate for jobs growth for the state and vote according to this value. We also want workplace regulation to support the Anti-Slavery Act introduced by the CDP. Yeah, that's a issue, sadly, in Australia, as well as the world. But even in Australia here, there is an issue with regards to slavery. Health. Healthcare should be available, accessible and affordable. CDP is committed to ensuring we'll do everything within our power to ensure New South Wales delivers a first-class health system for the broader population. Cities, urban and regional areas. Yep. Immigration. Each nation needs to maintain its immigration, so there's a balance of visitors and immigrants, and we will contribute positively to the nation. In the last several years, we've seen a rise in immigration that has outpaced infrastructure and potentially affected housing affordability, health affordability, and employment declines, and a strain on the social security system, resulting in communities disquiet towards new immigrants. Yes, this has the potential to change the character of Australian society. Oh, it is. It will. It will. Yeah, I know. These aren't really policies, are they? They're more aspirational goals there. That's the problem. Defense. What else? Gambling. Do they like gambling? Gambling is negative social impact. So it feels like, it's a typical Christian party. And I like a lot of these policies, to be honest. Some of them are a bit too lefty for me with regards to economic freedom. But there's some sensible things there, particularly education and their law and order and their labelling. They're ones that stand out to me. Okay. Independents for Climate Action Now. We've looked at them in the past. And I've done a minor matters on them as well. Or did I? I prepared it. I never did it. It was so long. It was so long. Let's have a look. What are their policies? I mean, emergency-based climate policy. While that loads up. Okay, ICANN's climate policy platform is underpinned by the scientific findings of the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change and other climate science research organizations, including all of these. This science identifies climate change as an existential threat to human society and the living biosphere on which we depend. It also acknowledges that to secure our future requires major and rapid reductions in emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, and other mitigative efforts such as downdrawing of existing atmospheric carbon stocks within a very short period, 12 years. Failing to do this risks pushing the climate system past tipping points that will send the globe into runaway climate catastrophe and causing the Earth to become a hothouse. So we've got the 12-year party, the climate change 12-year party. And Andrew's asking about the IPCC's credibility. Yes, it has. And it's just end of times prophecy. So notice how, the Christian party isn't talking about revelations or end of time. They're talking about education, reading, writing, mathematics, getting jobs for people. And now we've got parties like this. And I mean, it's just, I shared a post from Malcolm Roberts, and I had a friend who was, I would never take any advice from him about the environment. And the problem is, Robert's an engineer, he's experienced, you know, and it's just mathematics. So yeah. Okay, so, you know, climate fanatics. Climate cultists, guys. Climate cultists. Liberal Democrats. Let's have a look at their two candidates for this party. Two Senate candidates. New South Wales. Duncan Speeder. Duncan has been Senator Linehelm's right-hand man on policy since the start of the senator's term of office in 2014. They need to update that. He studied politics and economics, spent much of his career in federal treasury, and helped start the Liberal Democrats in 2001. Cody is an egalitarian who is passionate about liberty and individual responsibility and the role technology plays in freedom within a modern society. Her goal is to spread the word about the liberty movement and work towards a free society with equal opportunities for all. Cody is currently a writer for Liberty Works and until recently was a branch coordinator for the Central Coast branch of the LDP. Okay, cool. I think I met Duncan at a event. I think he bought me lunch. It was good. I was hungry. It's before I was going keto. So yeah. Wind turbines are shockers. Yeah, you know they're you know good and bad. So you know the LDP have some good policies. We'll see how. It's just I think the hit that Linehelm took was a bit disappointing. Let's look at One Nations. Oh, we got a good one coming up after One Nations. Let's look at their two candidates here for New South Wales. How do I? So 1, 2, 3 LDP has fantastic policy. I like their what is it? Grandfather clause or sunset clause on legislation. That's my favourite policy. And Thomas, you're worried about overcompensating for global warming. Don't worry, we'll just start burning coal again then in the future. Yeah, it'll all be good. And if we live in an ice age, then it will be like that steampunk game I played, Frostpunk. It'll be cool. You know, everyone will like it. So, there we go, Rachel's. Yeah, they have a lot of brand damage recently. I wonder if that'll affect their how people respond to them. But, you know, you can't tell with the polls. So, Kate has been officially endorsed as the lead Senate candidate for Pauline Hanson's One Nation New South Wales ticket. She's a businesswoman with a long family history of farming, still holding an active interest in her family farm in the Riviera. Background has instilled in her determination, a strong work ethic, a set of principles and beliefs she stood by her entire life. Through her operation of a farm and a hospitality business with her husband, Kate has had the pleasure of meeting many people of different ages, backgrounds and walks of life, who all say they are sick of the current state of politics. Kate believes we can keep the Australian dream alive for generations to come. Pardon me. If we simply bring some common sense into politics, home ownership, employment, national security, freedom of speech, education, affordable healthcare, and all are all issues vital to the success of all Australians. Communities are struggling with drought devastating our farmers, economic crisis. So she seems to have her head screwed on straight. Yeah, that's a good point there, G Slim, about the Koshy interview. It made her look terrible. You know, oh well, no, it brought a lot of sympathy towards her. It made Koshy look like an idiot. Charlie's going, I'm considering starting a MIGTAB party, no super UBI or no income tax, and make AU a world leader in the cat girl robot production. I think we'd have a long way to go to achieve the sophistication of Japan in that regard, mate. But I think it would definitely bring, you know, there is no party really pushing for men's issues, are there? And I mean, let's have a look at Barry, a respected healthcare professional with roots firmly planted in working class Western Sydney. Meet Barry Reid, Senate candidate. This Newcastle surgeon is certainly not your average political aspirant. descended from humble, hard-working stock, with 2 grandfathers being miners, a great-grandfather a farmer, and his 97-year-old dad, old veteran, infirm soldier from the New Guinea campaign of World War II, and a former wood machinist. Barry worked after school as a supermarket shelf stacker and graduated from the University of Sydney as a dentist and has enjoyed a remarkably diverse career. From running the Westmead Hospital Dental Clinic for adults with severe disabilities as a newly minted dentist, he launched the first public dental clinic in New South Wales, caring for sufferers of infectious diseases like HIV, Hep B, and later many former Asian refugees. Adding to a business professional life, Barry's community work extends far beyond the Hunter Valley. Deciding to follow in the footsteps of his dad, he applied to join the Australian Reserves in 2006, completed his officer training in Duncan, which he acknowledges were undoubtedly the physically and mentally toughest weeks of his life, outside of trekking along a Kokoda track as an aid volunteer, while enjoying the mateship of his comrades. Okay, cool. Barry's wife Alana was born and raised in the then communist Latvia in Eastern Europe and migrated to Australia 20 years ago to become an Australian citizen. Alana commenced university at the age of 16 and graduated in civil engineering management and economics at Riga University of Technology. Nala also recently graduated in pharmacy and now greatly enjoys working as a pharmacist in the Central Coast, where she's lived before marrying Barry in 2012. Barry's teenage stepdaughter is an avid horse rider, and his teenage stepson has a great interest in plumbing and lighting. Okay, cool. So it looks like the MGTOW party is starting. Is it? There you go. I don't think 1, 2, 3 that they don't like immigration. They like immigrants that integrate or adopt our culture. You know, adopt our culture. So they're not really the the fanatical anti-immigration party that they're painted in some way. They just want people to come here and live in our culture. They want they're not opposed to having a multi-ethnic, monocultural country, which I think most people mean when they say multicultural. Okay, let's have a look at the Warman's Party. The Warman's Party. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Well, yeah, Kafka. It's about adopting the culture when you come over here. I mean, my dad did it when he came here too. You know, he was an immigrant. It's called a Nazi by people in the public commission. You know, he become Australian. He was proud of his Australian citizenship. 1, 2, 3 logic. Yeah, we do have a successful immigration system here in Australia. I think our numbers are probably a bit high. I'm taking a bit of a break here. I'm going to answer some comments. So yeah, no, Thomas, it was great hearing that speech from Lathan. It was really good. Yeah, I'm kind of scared about this one, guys. Can I buy an O because they clearly can't spell woman properly? Oh. No, it's actually pronounced Warman. 1, 2, 3. Warman. You know, that's it. Not woman. They're not woman. Aren't they meant to have the penis one because they're transvestites? Or no, sorry, transsexual. I don't know anymore. Okay, well just let the. Can you fight? Okay, let's play a game. Everyone get a shot or a beer. If you see a white man in any of their pictures, you got to take a drink. Got to take a drink. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The Woman's Party, Warman, is a political movement to primarily attain an equal representation of women in our federal and state parliaments, to empower women and to select and endorse candidates so that we may have an equal input and say in decision-making processes and management of our nation. pubs going, isn't the founder a white man? Yes, my understanding is it was a transgender man. So is this a TERF party or not? Are they trans exclusionary radical feminists? Or is it just going to end up being filled up with transgender men? Because, you know, men will do a better job at it. We believe that the only way we can create respect between women and men is by standing equally and serving our nation in all houses of parliament, and so creating an atmosphere where our parliament will legislate gender quotas to enable women to contribute 50% of our elected parliamentarians. Gender quotas. A political gender quota party. Yay! That's just what we need. Why isn't this laughed out of existence? You know? Yeah, that's all we need to see. The Women's Party is about creating equality and respect between men and women to our common benefit and contributing to our society regardless of who we choose to be in our lives. Oh, this is hurting me. Let's read their policies. Let's look at their news. Wait. Nope. No white men. Nope. Stay up to date. You reckon, Andrew, that they'll get the bullet to the leader of the party? No, I don't think they're TERFs. I don't think they're TERFs. Wait till they become it. Okay. Below you can click through and read more on the Women's Party's policies on a range of subjects. We are continuing to develop the policies of the party and very much welcome input from our members. The Women's Party is a political movement. Okay. So they're a one-party policy? What do you reckon? Let's see what they say on climate change, women's issues, the Constitution, First Nation people, why not? We'll look at their equal representation. Going to a lot of WordPress political websites, aren't we? Doesn't take much to change that little icon. There. It doesn't. Women working within our parliamentary political system, women are 6.6 times more likely to respond with transparency and honesty than men. Oh, come on! I need a reference for that because I doubt that. I think women can be just as manipulative and, if not more, deceptive because they're better trained in their social hierarchy to compete differently to men. The business of governing will be improved significantly if we had greater gender diversity in the parliament. No, this is crap. That's not true. There's evidence against it. Wow, they've got references. The Lies We Tell, Bella de Paula. The Women's Party is a political movement found primarily... Yeah, okay. Well, that's just bullshit. They're lying there. Here we go. First Nation people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander rights and recognition. As a nation, we need to honour the unique place of First Nations peoples and their heritage honesty openly and without condescension. I'm too tired. The First Nation people's rights and recognition are inexorably entwined in the hopes and needs, wishes and lack of real constitutional representation of all Australians. Okay. We're not paying attention. Policies that have been laid out by politicians and bureaucrats and been formed with very little consultation with the First Nations people are highly suspect. Policies led by First Nation people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are supported by a genuine process of consultation need to become a priority. Well, yeah, it is something that our remote communities are still decades behind. And the question that no one is asking is, you know, you've got people that have been resettled onto old missions that were established there so you could, you know, capture the people from the bush, and they've been turned into towns. Why? You know, how can we encourage economic development there? It's It's all just talk here. It's all just talk. I mean, sure, it's an issue that needs to be addressed, but I don't know if they're the people that do it. Not with their whole lack of merit-based achievement. Can you imagine the policies and rubbish they'd push for? The Australian Constitution is an ongoing disgrace. We, of course, are not just talking about the lack of rights within our so-called Constitution. Well, I wonder if they've read it. The reality of our Australian Constitution is a document of agreement between the colonial states and overseen by a colonising British government to nationalise and keep in place all the existing benefits of self-interest and self-service that we experience as a nation in our parliaments today. Nowhere in our Constitution actually spells out that our parliaments or public servants run or administer our country for and on behalf of the Australian people. It would seem that our Constitution itself serves vested interest, corruption and pockets of the political party in power at the time. Okay. The Women's Party will, for and with the cooperation of the First Nations people and the people of Australia, stand up and demand that changes to our Constitution be made to reflect the relationship between our government and the people of our nation. Okay, cool. Okay, they believe in the wage gap. We will address the economic positive issue of equal wages for women with government, business and commerce from our parliamentary position. On average, women have to work an extra 56 days a year to earn the same pay as men for doing the same work. That's an interesting twist on that. That's a really interesting twist. Unequal wages are a disgrace. Okay, it's bullshit. Childcare needs to be subsidised and managed by the Commonwealth. Okay, there you go. State intervention. Women's rights. The Women's Party believes that it's a woman's right to have absolute control over her own body. Okay, they want to abort everyone. Domestic abuse and murder of women. They're not going to be believe in bilateral for men's rights, are they? Oh, the Women's Party is your action party. Sure it is. Climate change. Our plan is to implement 100% renewables, clean energy by 2030. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, you know, okay, that exists. Well, there obviously is a room for a MGTOW party, even just as a counterbalance to this. Even just as a counterbalance to this on the public stage. Probably to bring people's attention to men's issues. You know? To bring people's attentions to men's issues. Okay, let's have a look at the Seniors United Party of Australia. Hopefully, this will cleanse the Women's Party stuff out of our experience we've had. So how many women are prepared to work as many hours as men? Well, yeah, it's all up to choice. It's kind of rubbish. It sounds like they want to have a separate Aboriginal body creating legislation for all Australians. There are talks of having another, additional Aboriginal representation in Parliament. It seems odd to me because they already have elected politicians. Isn't that what their representatives are? Everyone's calling this the Boomer Party. It's the Boomer Party. Let's have a look. About us. Oh, here we go. Rachel's asking, do they give women the choice to be mothers? Or are we forced to work? No, honey, you'd have to go work. They'd send you to work. That'd be worse than me. You wouldn't even get time off with the kids at all. The government would take care of your kids. They'd take care of it for you. Don't worry. What happens... MGTOW have just gone, leave it to MRA to politically advocate. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you know what I mean, the whole people that are concerned with those issues. And the Great Old Oak is saying women can be mothers and work part-time with full pay equality. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yep. So, let's have a look at what the Boomer Party wants. For a better and fairer deal for all seniors, particularly self-funded retirees, superannuants and pensioners. The party's policies are based on 4 principles, which include health, protect and enhance Medicare, protect and enhance the PBS, a national palliative care scheme, aged care, affordable aged care, adequate staffing in nursing homes, retain registered nurses in nursing homes, superannuation, good. They're the office bearers. I'm not going to read through that. Okay. Oh, come on. This isn't exciting. Let's have a look. What are they talking about here? Servant leadership. Servant leadership is a leadership philosophy in which the main goal of a leader is to serve. It is different from traditional leadership, where the leader's main focus is the thriving of their company organization. A servant leader shares power, puts the needs of the constituents first, and helps the government develop and perform as highly as possible. Servant leadership inverts the norm, which puts the service to the constituents as the main priority. Instead, our current atmosphere, where it appears that we are serving politicians, the politicians exist to serve us, the people. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, good one. Pub, get me in trouble in the comments, mate, with my wife watching. That's awesome. That's really good. Thanks. So no, that's a good idea. I like that idea. This is web. Okay, well I got to share this one. This is showing your age there. 1, 2, 3 logic. This is showing your age. If you know what GeoCities is, okay, you're not that young either. You're nearly a boomer too. If you know what GeoCities is. So yeah. Salaries. We believe that politicians are paid far too much, and their salaries should reflect public expectation, with a formula comprising multiples of the full-time adult wage. Backbencher's salary would commence at 2 times full-time adult weekly wage. Yep. I mean, okay, everyone loves the sound of that, but you're not going to get talented people attracted to politics. We'll just be full with all socialists. Superannuation. Particular attention must be paid to politicians' superannuation, which should reflect the same levels and outcomes as all employees in the country, e.g. the superannuation guarantee of 9.5%, and not the highly generous schemes that they have access to now. You'd be amazed at some of the superannuation deals that public servants get. You'd be shocked. You would be utterly shocked at the deal that they get. Travel and other expenses. Changes must occur to the rules surrounding entitlements. Okay, I mean, they're just bitching about politicians, retirement income, national inquiry into retirement income. The SUP of Australia calls on the government to reverse the changes to superannuation as announced in the 2017 budget. We strongly oppose the decision to backdate a lifetime cap on contributions to superannuation in 2017, which breaches the long-standing convention that no major changes to superannuation would apply retrospectively, and call on the government to reverse this provision. Well, yeah. I mean, there you go. That's a good idea as well. That's a good idea. We especially oppose the announcement of the transition to the retirement scheme changes, which would see income earned on the pension side of the scheme taxed for the first time at 15%. Franking credits. The Seniors United Party is totally opposed to the Labor Party's proposed windback of imputation credits and proposes an exemption from this policy, for which everyone over the current statutory requirement age. Now, the problem with this is it's not free money. Okay, the government has paid. Oh no, sorry, not the government. The business that you own shares in has paid your portion of the tax on your behalf, and you get that back if you haven't earned enough money. Okay, that's what it is. It's not taxed twice. Age pension. Yep. Mature age employment. SUP of Australia calls for the adoption of policies that seek to real uptake in mature age employment. Oh yeah, it is an issue. Let's see what else. Aged care, retain registered nurses. I'm amazed if they're getting rid of the nurses in New South Wales. The New South Wales government wants to withdraw registered nurses from our nursing homes. This is currently a memorandum on this move. We believe that this move will put high dependency patients at risk of earlier death, and that these patients will end up being sent to public hospitals that clogging up an already strained system. Yeah, that seems like an insane policy to do. Very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. Yeah, it does have a Tea Party interest in it. You're right there. You're right there, Roscoe. And G Slim, you know, maybe we do get poorer quality politicians. I can't really say we've had that many good ones, have we? Have we? Mandatory minimum staff to resident ratios in nursing homes. Yeah, that's good. They need that. If you have that, to have an architectural degree, they should have that at the bloody hospitals, at the nursing homes. So they've got a few good policy here, and we'll see how they go. There's definitely some good stuff here. No government funds for stadiums. More access to education for seniors. Affordable access to the internet. No, it doesn't look like they've got a climate change policy there. Doesn't look like it. I mean, why would they? They're not going to be around long enough. The world's going to end in 12 years, isn't it? Why aren't people talking about other tax changes of shifty shorten, capital gains tax discount, negative gearing, trust laws changes, etc.? Some of the other parties have spoken about it and addressed it. What, do they have seniors TV? So there you go. The seniors party. Okay. The Socialist Equality Party. Another lefty party, guys. Another lefty one. Okay, the Socialist Equality Party, candidates in 2019 Australian election. Let's see about us. The SCP is the Australian section of the International Committee of the Fourth International, the World Party of Socialist Revolution. When was the Fourth International? Was that like... how long ago was that? Trotskyists. Okay, they're Trotskys. The Fourth International was established by Leon Trotsky, the co-leader with Lenin of the Russian Revolution in 1938, to continue the fight for internationalism against the nationalist program advanced by Stalin and his bureaucratic apparatus in the Soviet Union. Well, yeah, no, that's a oh boy, yeah. Maybe I can write away and they'll send me a copy of their manifesto. The IFC publishes the World Socialist website. Let's have a look. Very good. The SCP is successor of the Socialist Labour League, which was founded as the Australian section, yada yada yada. Okay. Well, they're definitely... I mean, you can't get any more left than these guys, can you? Where are their policies? Statement of principles? You can get involved. Who wants to get involved? I'm not going to fill that out. No. Okay, cool. That's a nice long essay. Where are their policies, their principle? The SCP is the Australian section. Okay, we've read that 15 times. So, yes, revolution. You guys kind of lost. Okay, the crisis of capitalism. Here we go. Capitalism and the imperialist system that has developed upon its economic foundations is the fundamental cause of human poverty, exploitation, violence, and suffering in the modern world. As a system of socio-economic organization, it long ago exhausted its historically progressive role. The blood-drenched history of the 20th century, including 2 world wars, innumerable local conflicts, Nazism, and other forms of military police dictatorship, eruptions of genocide, and communal pogroms, constitutes an unequivocal indictment of the capitalist system. What the hell? The victims of capitalist-inspired violence number in the hundreds of millions, adding to those other people of entire continents consigned to unrelenting poverty. Oh, come on! Okay. Poverty has declined more in the last 10 years. Oh, bloody hell. I mean, do people believe this shit? You know, do people really believe this? The gigantic scale of today's productive forces and extraordinary advances in technology are more than sufficient not only to abolish poverty, but to guarantee every human being a high standard of living. Culture should be flowering amidst unprecedented material wealth. Instead, conditions of life for the working class are deteriorating, and human culture, deprived of perspective and hope for the future, is in deep crisis. The source of the contradiction between what is and what should be is a global economic system based on private ownership of the means of production and the irrational division of the world into rival nation states. So they're left-leaning globalists. I mean, honestly, they've got some points here. They've got some issues here that I think are, you know, working quality of life is decreasing. You know, living standards are dropping slow. You know, slight or probably insignificant, but still not on a global scale. Not like they're saying. They need to look at some of Lomborg's TED Talks just to put this in perspective. You know, this is just all the efforts to raise the living standard of the working class and address serious social problems run up against the barriers of the private profit system and its economic imperative, the anarchy of the capitalist market, and the insatiable greed of the ruling class. The claim that the capitalist market infallibly allocates resources and wisely attributes social needs stands discredited in the eyes of millions amidst the speculative scandals and multi-billion-dollar bankruptcies that have rocked the world economy during the past decades. Yes, I know, there's those horrible, you know, market collapses. Much better than starving to death, you know? The boundary lies between legitimate financial transaction and criminal fraud have narrowed to the point of near invisibility. The separation of the process of personal wealth accumulation from the production and creation of real value is another expression of the putrefaction of the capitalist system. The irreconcilable conflict between the profit system and the very survival of humanity finds further expression in the crisis of global warming and the natural environment. The cause of the crisis is not overpopulation or overconsumption. Is it? It isn't? I thought that would be right up the alley. Nor does it result from the developments of science, technology, and mankind's productive force which is crucial to the advancement of civilization, but from the misuse by an obsolete social and economic order that renders impossible any implementation of a rational solution. The scientific evidence indicates that nothing short of the social reorganization of the world economy in which the environment is no longer held hostage to the private profit motives or destructive national interests can achieve the enormous reduction in greenhouse gases necessary to prevent disaster. This is like the ultimate UN party, isn't it? This is the United Nations party, we'll just call it. Oh. The solution to the global... Oh, they're going to give us a solution, guys. We're getting a solution here. The solution to the global economic crisis and the deteriorating social position of the working class lies not in the reform of capitalism, for it is beyond reform. Oh, it's hopeless. The crisis of a system and historic character. As feudalism gave way to capitalism, capitalism must give way to socialism. Yeah, no. No, it mustn't. That's not how it works, guys. No. You failed. You failed. Every time. You failed. It's not going to be right this time. Look at Venezuela. Okay? Look at Venezuela. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, yeah. Okay. The capital state and anyway. Wow. There's a lot here. Yeah. Oh. You know, it's just crazy. Yep, and we need to try real socialism. Marxist theory in the working class. I'll let you read this on your own. Class unity versus identity politics. Another form of opportunism which has played a significant role in undermining the struggle for the unity of the working class and lower class consciousness is the promotion of innumerable forms of identity politics based on the elevation of national, ethnic, racial, linguistic, religious, gender and sexual distinctions above class positions. So the left are eating the left. The left are eating the left. For the rights of Aboriginals, defence of refugees and immigrants. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'll just put a link to that in the comments here, guys, because I know you'll want to see it all, you know, when you get home. There you go. Thank me later. Oh, wow. Okay. You'd think ideas like that have been discredited. You really think ideas like that have been discredited. So, the Australian Workers' Party, we looked at them yesterday, a voice for the working people. They look like, to me, a reasonable alternative for people who are annoyed at Labor, and that's been taken over by social justice and identity politics. You know, if the Socialist Equality Party are too left for you, you know, they are pretty left. 1, 2, 3. They're definitely left, but they're, you know, then Labor needs something. Australian Better Families. We looked at them yesterday as well. So, what was their shtick again? What was their shtick? But yes, they were the ones that were promoting better family law and equality and Minister for Men. So this was the closest we were getting to a men's rights MRA party. So, you know, there's definitely some really good policies here that I thought were kind of counterbalanced with some of the other policies that frustrated me. But yeah, no, I thought that was quite good. So yes, yeah. Grand Oak was good. Moderate MGTOW. Yeah. Yeah, it does seem good. It does seem like a good party. Okay. Guys, thanks for joining me. If you're heading off, I know this is going for a while, but you know, I want to know who I'm voting for too. United Australia Party, we've seen them. Palmer's, and with my favourite policy, which is writing off mortgage interest. The Animal Justice Party, well, we've looked at them. Vote Flux. Okay. Now, what was it? Yes, I shared a post today on Highs. It says that this is like Flux is a gateway Australians can use to participate direct democracy. So it's essentially a direct democracy party. And I shared a picture of why I've got no faith in direct democracy. Or a post. Let me just find it. Give me a sec, because this is... Okay, I can't find it. It was someone hiring a... Oh, wait, no. Wait a minute. This was on Telegram. And this is from the Proud Boys that they shared. So, if you've got sensitive eyes... So I'll just... This is just why I'm a bit concerned. Now this was shared from the Proud Boys, this post. Here. I just hired this Asian lady for $3.50 an hour to sign my personal petitions on the White House. Okay? This is direct democracy. This is someone participating in it, working the system. Sure, you know, everyone can say there can be ways around it and all these other things, but I think we'll have voting blocks. You'll have people paying off other people's votes, and there'll be, you know, lots of other issues, I think. So I'm not, yeah, you saw the phone farm there. So I think it's good in good in theory, but I don't know. Frequently asked questions. What does the Flux Party stand for? Flux is a political movement promoting a new system of democracy called issue-based direct democracy, which enables voters to influence how an elected Flux representative will vote on legislation in Parliament. Oh, you're right. Maybe I'm just fantasizing about it, thinking back to the Roman or the Greek times. You know? What is issue-based direct democracy? It's an upgrade to democracy and is grounded in the principle that voting public, given time, can do better than elected officials at creating good policy. Yeah. No, not with our education system, not with mob mentality. So I'm kind of a bit bitter about it, guys. I think it won't happen. I mean, the politician will maybe get a sniff of power and then go do their own thing. Anyone want to see anything else about them? Any more questions about the Flux Party? Flux points. Oh, they're doing it over a crypto system. We don't want everyone to vote on every issue. We want people to vote on the issues they know more about and care about. So you can choose to abstain and reward with Flux points. So if you don't vote, you're rewarded with crypto points. So it's crypto democracy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of mob rule. We're seeing the outcomes of mob rule. We're seeing what happens when you have a disengaged populace and all the rubbish that's coming up now. Okay, the Science Party. What do you think, guys? Do you think they're going to be for healthy skepticism of any scientific claims, or they're going to be in the climate cult? Okay. We've got a few people saying they're left. This is good how they've got it, so every candidate can raise money. Are they going to have a social score like China as well? Probably. Climate change now, left. Yep. Okay. About our vision and principles. What? Where do I click on stuff? Oh, okay. The Science Party believes that our quality of life is improved primarily through technological developments, sourced through a scientific approach to knowledge and in the context of democracy and peace. Technological development is something that we can all be excited about and should try to accelerate. We as a society and as individuals should plan the future in order to maximize the benefits we derive from our technological developments. We see innovation, education and economic reform as key to the success of Australia. Okay. That doesn't really mean anything. Positive future for all people, healthier, wealthier. How? While it's tempered to the worldview. What? While it is tempered to the worldview as getting worse due to easier flow of information, every passing decade has brought substantial improvements in our quality of life. Modernity has brought stability, freedom, abundance, happiness, wealth. Good. The Science Party is committed to ensuring that all these advancements are well spread throughout the society. To all Australians around the world, we would see the world accelerate quicker and want to ensure the bottom races faster than the top. Technocrats, you reckon? You reckon they're technocrats? I want to see their policies. It's just a page of crap. Policy FAQ. Do I have to agree with all the Science Party's policies to join? Absolutely not. They want your money. What is the policy on X? We have tried to create as comprehensive a policy platform as possible. However, there's still many to do. Online policy discussion. Where is their policy platform? Okay, we try to avoid the kind of politics that involves focusing heavily on the other party's candidates, particularly where it involves criticizing their deficiencies as a substitute for discussing our own proposed ideas. Obviously, we have significant differences of opinion with all the large existing parties, or else we would not be spending the time and effort to create our own. Given our platform is transparent, we are happy. Okay, I don't care. That's not answering the question. So they're not answering the question. They're oh, here it is. Education. Investing in quality, accessible education allows social mobility. Science Party will increase funding, school funding on needs basis, incentivize teaching in disadvantaged schools, increase funding for adult education, implement a national school curriculum including STEM. Science and research. The Science Party will plan for the future through targeted government investment in areas that encourage economic and technological development. We will double spending on research. That sounds good. But we should go through, I'll do another episode where we go through some of the Australian Research Council grants, and you'd be shocked at some of the garbage that's paid for research, particularly all the gender studies crap. You know, all these papers you see and all these other things, it's just all gender studies rubbish with all taxpayer funding. Energy. Renewable energy is pivotal to reducing pollution from energy production. No, it's not. What about nuclear? You're scientists. You are scientists. Come on, they've got to have. Dramatically increase our renewable energy target, an emissions trading scheme, modernize our grids, connect the eastern. Yeah, okay. What about nuclear? Okay. Nuclear energy. Oh, it was right in front of me. You can tell I'm getting tired, guys. Support the Australian fusion strategy developed by Australian ITER Forum in order to increase Australia's contribution to international fusion research projects. Okay, that sounds great, but that's unfair comment, Lee. I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt. That sounds great, but what about fission power? What about fission power? Remove the ban on nuclear energy by repealing Section 104A. Yes, to allow all options to be considered. Construct fusion reactors for research and, if commercially viable and technologically viable, supply part of our energy needs. Yay! Good. Good. I'm happy with that. So, yep, you're getting your ban on nuclear power. You're getting your ban on nuclear power. We need to get them. We need to get, good old fission reactors first before they'll even let us do thorium. Maybe we should put some research into that. Okay. Oh, good. I like that policy. Australian Charter City, high-speed rail, cool. Economy, support for expenditure on science and tech, education and health. Yeah. Oppose corporate monopolies. The problem is we're not an innovative nation. We're not technologically as advanced as some of the others. Along with the core principles of open, effective and secular government, the Science Party supports the following: an Australian Republic, a multi-member House of Representatives, a single national Senate, strong whistleblower protection. Okay, they're good. Freedom of rights, online privacy and freedom of communication with no data retention, warrantless access to data, or government-imposed internet filters. Yes. Fantastic. Marriage equality, legal recognition of marriage between two consenting adults. Well, that already exists. Euthanasia. The Science Party is committed to healthcare and life extension, but also believes physician-aided dying should be legally available. It just scares me. Taxation, superannuation welfare, simplify marginal tax rates, land tax to replace stamp duty, remove welfare traps. Yep, raise the rate of New Start. Everyone's putting up New Start. Independent body to set sin taxes. I think they need to get rid of the sin taxes. I think the sin taxes have more consequences than people realise. Public health policy, a focus on preventative health care to extend life and improve quality. Promotion of healthy eating decisions through accurate informative labelling. No, I think promotion of healthy eating decisions through actual research and dieting. Clinical based research. Decriminalization of drugs, focus on mental health. Yeah, well, some of the countries are now getting rid of community care. They're opening up their asylums again. Legal and accessible abortion. Well, I like children, so I'm not for that one. Communication. Science Party supports a national gigabit network through fibre to the premises. Good. Technology will boast. Yeah, I like that idea, actually. We've pissed away so much money in the NBN. You should have at least gone fibre everywhere. Supports legalizing driverless cars. In favour of action on climate change, protecting native forests, genetically modified organisms for use in research and industry, and nuclear weapons, non-proliferation and disarmament. We should be anti-war. Let's see what the housing policies are. Loosen height density restrictions on urban infill areas with high demand. Increase land release to encourage increased density. Encourage diversity by increasing local service provisions and allowing mixed zoning developments. Hang on. Fibre to property is not economically feasible for farms in the regional areas. Let them use 5G. You know, I reckon you could get farmers laying their own bloody fibre to the street. They'd figure out a way to do it and then just patch it in. Not that bloody expensive. You know, it's not that expensive. You got to get people moving there. Regional Australia, increase the pay. Okay. Childcare, increase accessibility to childcare, will tackle inequality between income brackets, between gender. Subsidise 95% of childcare costs up to a maximum benchmark rate. Yep. Animal welfare. Creation of independent office for animal welfare, de-labelling of animal products. Opposes live export to countries whose animal systems have not been maintained. Battery cages. Horse jump racing. Science Party is a policy to establish a treaty organisation to develop treaties for ratification by Parliament and Indigenous groups throughout Australia. Science Party believes that Australia should establish a space agency. Okay. There's a good mix of stuff there. Well, yeah, more abortions and childcare. It just seem a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? But that's the trick. They can offer the abortions and then the childcare cost will go down. You know? Bob Mack, we've looked at Fraser's stuff recently. Oh, we looked at it yesterday. His party. I'll have a look at their candidates for here once we get through them all. The Australian Democrats. The Democrats are back. Wow. Remember the Democrats? Thumbs up if you're old enough to remember them when they were, you know, popular. Senate candidate for New South Wales. Pete runs a farming and grazing enterprise in northern New South Wales near Boggabilley with his wife Claire. He also provides agronomy, finance and broader agricultural consultancy. Chris, growing up near Tenerife, Chris has spent his life working in the local community. Chris has a passion for social justice and community services disability sectors. Born with cerebral palsy, he has a deep understanding of the challenges of living with a disability. Okay. Should we be having a conversation about what childcare is for and the curriculum? I remember when Rachel and I, because there was actually a childcare like 10 meters, 20 meters from our office, and we went in there to have a look at putting Mina in so Rachel could, you know, work a bit more, and we all thought, you know, the kids had to be socialized. And I just remember walking through there and seeing all this hippie crap everywhere, and I said, yeah, no, never, not a chance in hell. I don't want these people raising my kids. No way. So let's have a look at the Australian Democrats. The Australian Democrats are committed to using the best available research and information to guide decisions at all stages of the policy process. Sure you are. Using evidence to inform policy is not a new idea. No? But it has struggled to cut through the widespread political culture that has become too focused on winning elections at any costs. Okay, let's look at their energy policy, climate and the environment, education, you know, their economy. To ensure governments enable the transition to a sustainable, diverse and decentralized energy economy based on renewable sources, employment growth, reduced prices. These things can't all happen at once. Okay? You can't go to a decentralized energy economy, which means you're going to have decentralized maintenance and equipment. You're not going to achieve your baseload requirements, all on renewable sources. Sure, your employment might grow, but it'll be offset by other decreased employment, and prices can't go down. These things can't all happen at once. Some of them are mutually exclusive. It's just me that sees that. It's just me that sees that. Will they run off and sit with the Labour Party again? Yeah, I think they will. I think they will steak and eggs. So the Australian Democrats will support policies and legislation that ensures energy initiatives prioritise consideration of climate change mitigation through emission reductions. Okay, so I'm having trouble seeing the difference between some of these parties, guys. Is it just me, or are they all starting to merge into the same? Literally, I get the feeling that there's a lot of copy-paste bullshit between these guys. Use progressive strategies that lead to national energy self-reliance. You know? Climate and the environment. To push government to ensure we contribute as much as possible as a nation to the global reduction of greenhouse gas emissions and ensure Australia anticipates and is prepared for the social, ecological and economic consequences of climate change. Yep, well, that bit the... I thought, didn't they say here at the beginning, are committed to using the best available research and information to guide decisions at all stages of the policy. What if the research isn't the best available? Education. To ensure government provides and maintains well-resourced, free, inclusive public education systems, including diverse higher education opportunities, and to support both public and private education providers to deliver high-quality opportunities, equip students for understanding community, civic responsibility, critical thinking, blah, 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 blah. Same stuff again. Same stuff again. I said the other day we should cut half the parties out because they're so similar. Yeah, you're right. What it tells me is that they don't have a clue about energy management systems. Yeah, I know. It's all just seeing the same, you know. You could probably put a website and a weekend together and start a party. Objective. To ensure government manages the economic... I'm getting tired, I need coffee. Oh, boy. Boy, oh boy. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. The Australian Democrats will support legislation that seeks the transition to a sustainable economy. Oh, again. Hang on. What's this? Why am I tired? The reason you're tired, readability score is very low. The use of high word counts per sentence and high syllabus context words. Yeah, you know, you're probably right. You're probably right. It's why I'm getting tired. How long have I been doing this for? How long have we been going? Oh crap, another 2-hour episode. Yay! Oh, I mean, everyone wants us to go sustainable. Everyone. You've got... Oh. I mean, that's the thing. Tom's saying, you know, it's almost like they haven't thought it through. They don't need to. It doesn't need to. High's a party for the people while Heiser gets drunk in the corner. Oh, at least I'm a happy drunk, but I tend to drink too much. I can't handle it anymore. I'm getting too old. Every 5 years, when you get, you know, 20, you can be okay. 25, it gets harder. 30, it gets harder. 35, it gets harder. I'm not looking forward to 40. Okay? I'm not looking forward to it. I can't handle it anymore. So, I mean, what's the difference? What is the difference? What's the, you know... I honestly think they're just trying to go brand recognition. Guys, I get the feeling it's brand recognition. I'll look at this one. Yeah, we looked at this. They changed the picture. Let's look at their team who's running in Pete and Chris. Campaign, New South Wales campaign. Take care, Roscoe. Take care. Thanks. And, yeah, I'm not 40, Lee. Bastard. I'll do a stream on election day, guys. I'll do a stream, you know, with the ABC coverage. So provide rural Australians with a reliable voice. I don't know. I think they're just trying to go off the Democrats' brand. That's the feeling I get. Okay. Small Business Party. I've looked at them in a minor matters. Let's have a look. About. You think they're going to win? You reckon? I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. I think it'll be close. I'm hoping for a hung parliament, to be honest. So you're counting, Tom? You're going to be counting, or you're going to be a are you working for the AEC, or what's that term? Someone who checks. Oh, good. Good stuff. Make sure you get a sausage dog. Hot dog. I remember last time I voted, I didn't get one. I was really disappointed. Okay. The Small Business Party is an Australian political party founded in 2018 by Scrutineer. Thank you, Rachel. See, guys, that's a good wife. Got your back. Got your back when you're making an ass of yourself on YouTube. You know what you got yourself into. You got to update your YouTube photo, honey. Here we go. TD, have you watched Molyneux's video on Australian politics? No, I spent some time after I worked. No, I've got enough coffees there, Rachel. Learning how to do this with the chat. So I only bring them up on the screen as I'm commenting on them. Pub Test recommended this software to me, the vMix. I think it'll make it a lot easier to do interviews and other things with people, have people call in, and yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Okay, let's get back to this. Small businesses in our communities are facing tougher conditions today than we've had for some time. Energy prices are skyrocketing. The rising cost of living is scaring our families. Housing is unaffordable. Taxes are being escalated, inflating costs. Increasing levels of red tape and compliance are negatively impacting business operators. The time has come for someone to stand up to government and say enough is enough. Small businesses are major employers. They are families. They are local communities. They're the heart and soul of this great Australian nation. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Let's look at some of their policies. Tom's listening to it when he drives. Yeah, I listen to Molyneux when I'm drafting or doing something like doing a point cloud where I don't need to think too much, or doing the dishes. Here we go. So I think with the Oz Public these days, there seems to be, yeah, well, it's going a bit crazy at the moment. But no, I'll listen to Molly's one a bit later. Well, not tonight, I'm getting tired. So, strong small business means a stronger economy. Let's have a look at that. Accounting fees, employment contracts, franking credits, they want to get rid of that. Nothing surprising, this red tape. Red tape costs small business $58,000 per year and 14 hours of unpaid work a week. Yeah, it does. Oh, bloody hell. It's a pain in the ass. The GST threshold for a turnover small business is currently $75,000. SP want to increase this to $200,000 threshold. Yes, I like that. That's a good idea. Because doing BAS is a pain in the bum. SAB will encourage and support the emerging micro business sector. Now, you know what that is? That's called businesses shutting down, to ensure it prospers and grows rather than disappears under government regulation. Yes. All for sole traders, partnerships and trusts will be given access to R&D incentives. Yes, I like that. That's a great policy. Because I know when Rachel and I were looking at R&D incentives, we just weren't big enough. We just weren't big enough. Must be. You're worried about my mental health. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I'm just tired. I've been drafting all day. It's fine. It's fine. I got my coffee. It's good. I mean, who doesn't want to read through all these things? It's interesting. They're all blurring together. They're all blurring together. There's not much difference. There's not much difference. Do you think they're effective? Do you think doing something like this is getting any exposure? Is there any effect? You know, maybe, I guess in New South Wales for certain parties, there needs to be an alliance of right-leaning, conservative parties as a stronger alternative to Liberal. So conservatives can put their vote there. But there's too much infighting. Do you think One Nation will survive when Pauline goes? Or maybe Latham's the future, we'll see. So, yep, small business is a better start. Let's have a look. Leave accounting fees alone. Under a Labor government, a maximum deduction of $3,000 would apply to all business owners for accounting fees. What? This is ludicrous. It would be hard to find one small business in the country that pays that tiny amount. How out of touch is Labor? Yeah, this is just insane. Recent years have seen a raft of government changes. So they up the regulation and then they want to cap our fee. Oh, they just want to get your money any bloody way they can, don't they? This restriction is anti-small business and puts another barrier in the way of growth and sustainability of all small businesses, including startups and micro businesses. Yep. So no. Good. Universal definition of employee contractor. Small businesses and those who work with them need a simpler universal definition of who is an employee and who is a contractor. The ATO, ASIC, Fair Work, and Work Cover currently all have different definitions. Because of this, there is a conflict as to where superannuation is due and when it is not. Also, SPP will work with each state revenue office to solve the hiring of contractor issues and personal services, including rulers and ABN issues. I'm liking these policies. You know, they're very specific to businesses. So TD is asking, I assume that's to me. Hey Heinz, or Heiser, do you honestly think our votes count? I'm not being facetious. Yes, I do. I still have faith in the system. There's enough scrutineers from, you know, every independent that goes there has the opportunity to put a scrutiny there that stands there and watches it and will take a record of it and it will be recounted. It may seem simplistic, but it works, and lots of people would blow the whistle on it if it was going on. You know, we've got a friend here who's Tom. He's he's going to be counting. You just said before, in the weeks afterwards, he'll be counting, so he can let us know. But I'm confident that it'll still count. That work? Wait, hang on. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm confident it does. Heinz baked beans. I liked them before I went keto. No, I can't eat them anymore. Okay. Small business in Australia suffer through outrageous amounts of red tape in any given week. Small Business Party believes ASIC searches should be free of charge. Yes! Small business needs to check who they're actually working for and should not have to pay a fee every time. Yes! No, that is... Yeah, that's great. Okay, because the thing is, you know, before you even get a fee proposal for someone, and I had a guy who tried to con me, and I wrote back to him a few times. I'll make a video about that. I think I should. But before you check someone, you want to search their background, find some information about them. And I remember we had one guy who owes us like 15 grand, an Asian restaurant down the Gold Coast, and I've just had to give up on it because no one could get in touch with him. I tried to go through ASIC and say he was trading while insolvent, and they should put the hammer on him because you can't have a directorship if you're doing that. They didn't want to do anything. They couldn't be bothered. So yeah, it should be completely free. We'll review why any level of government charges for services vital to running a small business. Yeah, why do we need to pay for a title search? Why do we need to pay for all this crap? Every time you go deal with the government, you have to pay. When it should all be just available online. Maybe you pay for a physical copy. Who will remove annual business registration fees? Yes. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with everything I've read here, to be honest. But you know, they're very specific. They're targeting business, and you know, they're bringing stuff to attention. We'll see if it makes a difference. They did pretty well in the New South Wales Senate, didn't they? Let's see. Election results. How did they do? View results. Let's have a look. I think they did pretty well. The Legislative Assembly. No, the Council. Final results. I mean, how did they go? Or is it Small Business Party? Oh, okay. Oh, this is first preferences. Oh, well, you know, they didn't too bad. Total formal votes stood 30,000. Liberal Democrats. I think they got a whole lot of preferences too. Okay. No. Cool. Okay. That's all the parties that we haven't looked at before. Now, do we want to... I think someone wanted us to have a look at Anning's members. Let's have a look at his candidates for New South Wales. Senate. Okay. Oh, here we go. G Slim. This is a good one. I stopped dealing with some big clients because they were demanding 90 to 100 days credit for a project less than $5,000. Yep. I can appreciate that. I can really appreciate that. And it really pisses you off. You know? Thomas, now with the credit card companies run the risk of deplatforming if they don't like the joke you told. Yeah. That's happening too, isn't it? Then again, I wouldn't mind not having the credit cards. But still. So, got a manager, a farmer of North Coast, film production, Paul Swan for New South Wales. Grew up farming in Western Australia, so I've got some farmers. Ian came to New South Wales in 1999 from Richmond area, North Queensland, where he and his family had sheep and cattle properties. He has been practicing equine dentistry, so he's a horse dentist, teaching it since 1999. He lives on a farm, enthusiastic horse rider competitor. Okay, cool. So, do we want to have a look at the candidates for... We'll look at the Labor candidates, or at least a couple of them, and the Liberal candidates, eh? So who's Labor got? Who has Labor got? Let's look at Tony Sheldon. Hey. Tony was born in Caringbah and attended DeSalle College, Cronulla. No, I don't want to donate. He has completed postgraduate studies in industrial law at the University of Sydney and is a graduate of Harvard University Trade Union program. Tony is now a father of two living in Sydney. Began his working life as a cleaner, bartender and garbage collector before beginning work fighting for workers' rights. Okay, a unionist. Can't say I'm surprised. Let's look at Tim. Good hairstyle. Tick there. Tim grew up on a beef cattle farm near Lismore. No, I don't want to donate. New South Wales. He attended local public school and finished high school in Glenelg. His upbringing in the country has made him passionate about several rural and regional communities. After graduating from University of Sydney, where he studied industrial relations, he began a career representing working people. Another unionist. Let's have a look. Nope. Jason, what do you reckon? Lawyer? First generation Australian, born and raised in Sydney. I mean, I wouldn't even... I told you a lawyer. I'm a first generation Australian. I wouldn't even mention it. You know? Does that matter? Maybe it does. Born and raised in Sydney with a professional background in law. He runs a corporate advisory firm. Is that his last name? Yep. Yateson Associate, Chair Investment with Vintage Asia Holdings, and serves on the Senate of USC. Arts and Law degree, first class honours, Australian Housing Global Fellow. Fantastic. Passionate about diverse representation in politics. Great. Identity politics. Simone. Simone Pengela is a long-term member of the Australian Labor Party, parent to, yeah, come on, to two young kids and a lifelong resident of Newcastle. in the Hunter region. Born in Newcastle, she attended local public schools and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts Honours degree in Creative Industries from University of Newcastle. She later earned an MBA and is also a proud graduate of TAFE. Okay, cool. Unique experience in growing up in regional New South Wales has shaped her life and given her a deep understanding of the importance of proper infrastructure and equal access. Yeah, you think they wouldn't be asking for donations? Isn't George Soros funding them? You know? Simone, but all the parties, everyone, they all need donations. That's how they run. To working with stakeholders. Hang on, says decades of experience working for regional communities and understands the critical issues that affect our regions. Yep, cool. Chandrala. Alright, Chandrala is a community advocate living in Strathfield with her husband. Migrated from India more than 30 years ago and raised 2 children in Sydney. She's a founding member of and president of the Telugu United Indian Association. She voluntarily works for and chairs several community, cultural immigration, women, temple and subcontinental association. Passionate about an inclusive society and welcomes first-generation migrants and gives everyone a fair go. She believes in better public education, university healthcare, and socially responsible environmental protection for the benefit of future generation. Here we go. Here's a good one. Yeah, remember when Labor Party worked for workers and didn't see them as tax bags? Neither do I. Yep. That's a good one, Thomas. I like that one too. I agree with TD. Okay. And Charlie. Charlie. Is he the only white male that we've seen? Him and Tony? Charlie and his wife Sue raised their 3 kids in Cootamundra. Charlie's worked as a farm manager for more than 22 years. He's been an active member of the Lions Club for the past 10. Rural Fire Brigade, okay. What's he do? Farm manager. Farmer. Okay, bunch of lawyers and farm people. Yeah, I'm surprised. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Oh, they want us to subscribe. At least Liberal isn't pushing me for money. Let's look at the Liberal guys. Liberal National. Let's look at Hughes. South Wales. Okay. Holly Hughes. Bet the first email is to donate. Yep. And farm manager usually manages on behalf of a large agricultural corporation. Yeah. Yeah, you're right there. Okay. Holly is a Liberal candidate for Senate New South Wales. She's a passionate advocate for rural and regional New South Wales, having led campaigns to improve transport options and health services for the bush. She also founded the Country Autism Network, an organisation she currently shares. She is working hard in New South Wales to support jobs, growth and investment. Okay. Short, to the point. Concetta is a former Minister for International Development and the Pacific. She's also served as Assistant Minister for Multicultural Affairs and Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Social Services. She was first appointed to the Senate in 2005. Keeping it short here, aren't they? Michael Fennelly is Liberal candidate for the Senate New South Wales as Director of Heart, Lung and Clinical Stream and Cardiology at St Vincent Hospital and a Senior Medical Researcher at the Victor Chung Cardiac Research Institute. Michael has always used his skills and experience to assist those less fortunate. For more than 20 years, he's provided free medical services to the people of Solomon Islands. He's trained doctors and arranged donations of medical equipment for local health services. He's also established rural outreach programs, and delivered healthcare to remote Aboriginal communities with the Royal Flying Doctors. Bit of a different from the union people, isn't it? Living locally with his wife and children, Michael is active in the community. Michael wants to use his experience to support jobs, growth and investment in our local community. Okay, yeah. It's impressive, actually. Good on you, mate. Andrew Bragg is Liberal Senate candidate for New South Wales. Andrew started a career as Ernst & Young, an accountant, and went on to work in a senior roles in Financial Services Council and Business Council of Australia. As an author specialised in economics, forensic and trade policy, Andrew regularly contributes to the AFR, Telegraph, good. Andrew was the National Director of the 2017 Liberals and Nationals for Yes campaign in support of same-sex marriage. He's passionate for public policy, stems from his belief a strong economy is the basis of a just society. He wants to see New South Wales continue to benefit from the strong economic leadership of the Morrison Liberal government. Andrew lives in Sydney with his family, enjoys football, fishing and golf. Jim Moland, retiring from the army, okay, army grunt. Yeah, that's a good point there. There'll be no advantage to the community in taking a medical specialist out of the hospital. Yeah, it's a good point, pub. Good point. Infantryman, an Indonesian speaker, a helicopter pilot. Okay, cool. Got Marissa. Die-hard Liberal since the 80s. Political advisor. Shadow Minister for Indigenous Development and Employment. Well, you're not doing too well there. And Arthur. Arthur Synodius was sworn to the Australian Parliament, Senator for New South Wales, 13th of October 2011. Minister for Industry, Innovation and Science. Assistant Treasurer on substantive topics affecting Australia's increasingly complex economic and financial landscape. Okay. Well, guys, is there anyone else you want to have a look at in the Senate candidates for New South Wales? Or Northern Territory, for that matter? You know? Anyone that jumps out? Anyone you're interested in? Because I'm getting tired. No, you're all good? I thought this would be quick tonight because I've already done so many yesterday. And let's have a look. I mean, Tasmania, ACT, that'll be small. Cool. What about Tasmania? The only difference one will probably be Jackie Lambie. Bloody hell, people running everywhere. I'm impressed that Anning's managed to get people in all states so quick. And One Nation as well. So, and UAP. So it's going to be an interesting election, guys. So, thank you everyone for joining me today. You're happy with the chat, how it's working? I'm bringing up particular ones. How's that look for the experience? And you can all, you can still chat all on the YouTube, have your conversations there. But then it's not a distraction on this one. Is that working? So I'll try and learn another thing tomorrow. Maybe I'll look at a title thing on this software. We'll see how it goes. Oh, guys, thank you all very much. I'm gonna... What time is it? 10 o'clock. Crap. Rachel, you're watching this. Did you take out the green bin, or do I have to do it again? I forget my chores every time. I can't believe it's Thursday. Oh, crap. It's bin day. See, that's the patriarchy there. I think I did better today, 3 hours, and I haven't started swearing. I'm doing good. Oh, thanks for joining my Telegram. Guys, if you're interested in Telegram, it's a social, well, it's a communication platform where you can share information, and there's a whole lot of all the people that have been kicked off every other platform, have been, Alternative News, GI, Infowars, Britain First, Yamini, Avi, Luma, Milo. Everyone has been kicked off Facebook. Goes there, and you can get lots of cool stuff there, and you can, it's unfiltered. It's unfiltered. I got into it when I was doing, playing around with crypto during the boom. So I'd recommend you get it. I'll share stuff that I see on there too. I think I prefer it to I don't know if you can get chat rooms. I think you can. I may build one there rather than Discord. I don't know, because Discord seems to be screwing over a few people. I've got one there. Milo's very chatty on it. To be honest, I haven't followed him yet. Or maybe I turned off the alerts. That's one thing to do, is to turn off the alerts. Luma is way too chatty. Yes, yeah. I get the feeling she's having a nervous breakdown. Hang on. How's this gonna work? Yeah. How's that? So yeah. Actually, let me try. This is good. So I can see all your. This is how I navigate all your chats, guys. So when I see one, I can click on it and go add to queue, and then it'll appear up here. And I'm loving this software. This is really good. Great toy. Great toy. A big upgrade from OBS. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight, and thanks if you stuck through the entire 2 hours and 51 minutes. Cheers. And I'll do the last one tomorrow, and we'll go through Victoria and then the oddities in Western Australia and Tasmania. Is anyone from South Australia watching? We'll do the rest of the country. It won't take that long. And hang on, Bob Hawke died aged 89. Guys, thank you all very much, and I will see you all again. Oh, well, I've got to do it now for South Australia. We'll do the rest of the country tomorrow. We'll do it all. Victoria and South Australia and Tasmania. All of that. See you all later, guys. Take care. I'm signing off. If I can figure out what button to press on this one. Stop streaming. Yep. Bye.